Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining. My name is Charles Michel. I am a food educator. I am a former chef who turned into kind of education and awareness around how to basically live more in harmony with our environments and with the traditions that we have within our social surroundings, and basically using food as a tool for change. Today, I am super excited to be here with you, taking over Wailea Chateau and Instagram to announce a partnership and a campaign called Food for Change. Food for Change, hashtag Food for Change, has been going on for 3 years, and it's a collaboration between Wailea Chateau and Slow Food International. Right now, Food for Change campaign is leading up to Terra Madre, which is the flagship event yearly of Slow Food International, and we'll explore many themes, like protecting biodiversity, fighting climate change, eating locally and seasonally, which are themes that are today more important than ever. And in particular, can we protect biodiversity? Can we fight climate change with our forks by the way we use and the way we consume ingredients and natural ingredients through gastronomy? That's the question. And so nearly 200 chefs from all over the world have committed to Food for Change, and today we're going to be meeting the first chef who's going to be part of this weekly series leading up to Terra Madre in 4 weeks. And so this series is called One Chef, One Ingredient, and we're going to be visiting 4 different places around the world, 4 chefs that are going to tell us about one ingredient called from a selection called the Arc of Taste. The Arc of Taste is an initiative by Slow Food, which is basically putting forward traditional products, local breeds, local seeds, ancestral know-how, and lifting up the stories of these ingredients and to preserve them, to preserve biodiversity, and to raise awareness. So that was the intro, and now we should be going in a minute with Chef Krista Garcia, which is our first guest on this series. And Chef Krista Garcia is in Maui right now in Hawaii, and she is the chef and she does culinary experiences at Hotel Wailea in Maui, which is one of the Wailea Chateau hotels. So we're gonna see if Chef Krista is around. Right, we're gonna be waiting for her couple more minutes. All right. So I hope you're as excited as I am about this collaboration and this idea of Food for Change. I really believe that through choosing wisely and consciously what we eat, what we cook, wherever we are in the world, we have an option to drive awareness, drive consumption towards things that are better for the environment and that are better for us and for our health. And what's kind of always there is the pleasure, right? Pleasure is what drives our emotions when we're consuming, and it's also, I believe, a force for good. So we're going to be seeing soon Chef Krista joining us. And if you have any questions about this initiative, let me know here in the chat. All right. Let's see. Right now I'm in France. This is I'm in Bordeaux, outside of Bordeaux, in the countryside, in the woods, and with Maui in a few seconds with Chef Krista. Just invited her. She should be here anytime. And so today, Chef Krista is going to introduce us to a beautiful ingredient that is kind of really one of the ingredients that symbolizes let's say the cosmovision of the islands of Hawaii, and in particular kind of the soul of gastronomy. And I'll let her tell you about it. It's going to be really inspiring. Chef Krista Garcia, let's see. if we have Hotel Wailea already here. Just a second. All right. We should be having Krista online in a few seconds. Hello, everybody joining from all over the world. I see Jana saying breadfruit can feed the world 100%. Hello. Hi,
Technical
Krista.
difficulties. You'd think we were on an island in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, it's incredible we're able to be in the same virtual space and share this with everybody who's joining us. So nice to be sharing time with you, Chef.
You as well, Charles. Chef, thank you so much. We're so excited to be here.
Yeah, for sure. Right. So let's get into it. I just gave kind of a bit of background of the Food for Change campaign, the Arc of Taste ingredients. So tell us tell us about, where you are right now, and then start telling us about the ingredients.
Okay, thank you so much. I am the culinary experiences chef at Hotel Wailea on Maui, which is Hawaii's first and only Wailea Chateau property. And I'm actually coming to you right now from our treehouse, which is a really special private dining location at the hotel. And I'm going to flip us around so you can see the view really quick.
Oh, so, beautiful. Oh, wow.
Not too shabby.
That's
we
amazing.
are looking across at the island of Lanai. And I know that you're in a treehouse too. So very cool to meet in treehouses.
Yeah, kind of exchanging in treehouses from different parts of the world. Here's mine. This is where I'm spending some of the summer weeks. So nice to be kind of aligned in space.
So cool. So cool. Well, we're so excited to be part of Wailea Chateau's campaign Food for Change in partnership with Slow Food, and to celebrate the upcoming edition, the 13th edition of Terra Madre. And for this Arc of Taste, I have chosen ulu, which is Hawaiian breadfruit. It's an ingredient that is so delicious and so versatile in its use, and I feel it's really one of the key crops that can bring food security to the Hawaiian Islands. So that's my choice.
That's wonderful. That's ulu right there. Hawaiian breadfruit.
Yes.
Beautiful. Yes. And so you mentioned how there's a history and a culture through these ingredients, right? And a connection to the land. Do you want to tell us more about that connection?
Yes, absolutely. Well, I feel that, first of all, as a chef, it's my responsibility, or what the Hawaiians would say, my kuleana, which to really support, to seek out ingredients that are locally grown and seasonal, and can provide so much fodder for the future of food here in the Hawaiian Islands. And so that's why I chose ulu. And it is a very sacred plant to the Hawaiian people, and has a long history, and a lot of spirituality involved with it. It's revered as actually the embodiment of a god and goddess.
Wow.
And so in participation with the plant, we really are connecting with the divine, which is, I think, so beautiful. So
beautiful. Beautiful values to embed in a culinary creation, right? And in food.
Yes.
Right
yes.
there. Wow, beautiful. And so tell us a little bit about, you're in one of the most biodiverse places in the world. Tell us a bit about the land and kind of the place of this fruit within it.
Yes, it's such a these plants, these trees were brought here to the islands centuries ago via Tahiti, and they were considered a canoe plant, which means that they had such a vital importance in sustaining life that they were literally brought on canoes with early Polynesians, and arrived in the Hawaiian Islands just about maybe 1,000 years ago. But in that, just knowing what a important food source it was for them, literally a single tree can feed generations of people, and the entire tree is used, which is also really special. It's not just the fruit. It's the lumber from the tree trunk itself is used for building, for canoes and for surfboards. The bark is pounded into a beautiful supple cloth called tapa for garments. The sap that you can kind of see on here is used for medicinal purposes. The flower petals, when dried, are turned into strung into beautiful lei to wear, and the dried part of the male flower is burned like incense for mosquito repellent. So the whole tree is used, and in this terroir, it really creates the ultimate elder in agroforestry, right? So in a landscape, the ulu tree provides, they can grow so tall, like 100 feet. And so they would provide the shade and the sustenance for other plants to grow, for coffee and papaya and cacao. And then from down there to tubers in the soil and then in the water, like taro or kalo and sweet potato. So it really, it's really kind of the most important tree in that biodiverse landscape, I feel. And I'm learning still so much about it. We could talk about this for days. So
for hours, for days, yeah. So and tell us, since we are kind of both passionate, both chefs, and passionate about the world of basically using food techniques to transform nature into delicious stories and experiences for people. Tell us a little bit about the flavor profile for those of us who haven't kind of tasted this ingredient. What is it like?
Absolutely. So this is a very immature fruit, and you can feel how firm it is, and how when you look at it up close, there's really no browning between the rough edges. It's kind of, I call it like the dragon skin tree potato. So in this stage, it's very firm and green, and a lot of people don't use it at this stage, although it is edible and it can be very delicious. And so I wanted to use that for my dish today, because to show how you can use it at any stage. But as it develops, it becomes more like a potato. It can be, treated just as such, cooked in as many ways as a potato, which we know is a very versatile food. And then as it ripens to its fullness, it becomes very soft and custard-like, and it's great for desserts. It has like a lilikoi or passion fruit flavor, aromas of banana. So it's so versatile in its savory and sweet uses that as a chef, it's a playground. We can, think of endless ways to work with it. And I think that's what's so inspiring. Yeah.
I love the fact that different types of ripeness give you different textures, right, and flavors into the dish, right, and you can play with that. That's amazing. And so
the flavor is so mild that it pairs well with so many things that it can take on the nuances of other ingredients. Then that it can either be the canvas in the background, or it can be absolutely delicious just steamed or even baked and with a bunch of butter or coconut fat and sea salt. Amazing.
Beautiful. That sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds wonderful. So I understand that you are going to show us a dish that you prepared with this. Amazing. Okay, you want to tell us about it?
Okay, ready. So today I have prepared an ulu au gratin. So because of its potato-like quality, I feel like it really lends well into this application, and that way I can layer it with other ingredients. So I use kula onion, or Maui sweet onion. I layer that with fennel gold, and with sea salt, Hawaiian sea salt, and coconut cream. And then layered it all in a dish and just let it bake and, brown or gratin on top. And then I sliced it once it was cool into this, nice little rectangle here. And I used a torch to just get a little more color on the top. And then my other ingredients here I have to plate it with. We could just eat this with a spoon at this point and it would be delicious. But I wanted to also show a few other Hawaiian ingredients. This is pohole fern. So fern that we can forage in the wild. I went to my friend's property in Wailea, which is North Shore Maui. Shout out to Becky and Chris Spear. And was able to forage these beautiful ferns on their land. And so they have just a really nice, like, vegetal kind of woodsy flavor. And so I just really lightly oiled them. They can be cooked too or served raw. And then I have some little ulu chips. So the can be fried into these little chips. And I just put some of these in here for some texture. And then I foraged the other day. It's one of my favorite things to do is to just go out in the jungle and find food. And so these are in season right now. They're strawberry guavas. And I fermented these. So they're essentially pickled, but I just did them in a saltwater brine. And so they have a nice little savory and sweet quality to them. And then we've got some beautiful little flowers. These actually we grow on the Hotel Wailea property. They're little star flower. And they just have kind of a light cucumber flavor. So I usually just find, whatever flowers are growing and in season. I love to use Jamaican vervain. That's a dark blue flower that I actually used in the plating of this dish the other day for the photos. And then this is a tiny micro marigold. And they're delicious. They have a a very interesting flavor. Unlike most marigold, they're not as astringent. I would say they're a little more sweet. And then finally, I have some fennel tops, which I actually grew in my garden at home. Oops. And then finally, we'll do a little bit of fennel oil on the plate. That's a little more color.
That's incredible. As you were saying all these words of, you know, I'm imagining all the complex textures and the aromas and the freshness of this dish. It's so wonderful.
Oh, thank you so much. It was so fun doing this.
Such an incredible representation of your landscape, the biodiversity of your land. I find that incredibly inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And so tell us, so we met on a call a few days ago, and there's something that I really loved that you said, that chefs, or in a way you consider yourselves as being a bridge between the past and the future, right? We have something very traditional, that is the Hawaiian ulu, that's been there for centuries, and also that this could be just with so many uses of the whole plant, right? Even for mosquito repellent. And so how do you see this work, that we have this responsibility, right? This kuleana that we have in the food industry nowadays?
I think it's essential. We are, the things that we do and we plate and we talk about on Instagram or in cooking classes or even in a restaurant, of whatever we put on that plate, it really represents who we are and who we want to be, who we want to, we want to see the world as. And so, and people follow in suit. If we are really excited about an ingredient or a certain sustainable seafood, it sets the pace and the motivation for others to follow. And I think that is such a important, it is the responsibility, and one thing that I love, just to add in here, is that ulu, the word, without the okina, which is the little apostrophe before ulu, without that okina, the word means growth. And I feel that it's just such a perfect food to represent what we're really talking about today and where we need to see the food culture going globally. And the tree itself, for the Hawaiian people, it really represents the main body of the tree, represents the elders or the kapuna and their knowledge as it branches upwards, and which is what we are trying to work on now, also comes up in the roots of the tree, and the new tree forms from that root system. So the ulu is constantly growing and moving towards the future, and really we need to be doing the same.
Oh wow, that's so beautiful. Thank you so much for putting it so brilliantly, and not only showing us an inspiring creation, but also all the poetry and the meaning and the sophistication in this kind of application of ancestral knowledge. And as we know, the world is going through transformation. Our industry in the restaurants and the hotels, where we're facing challenges, but there is a way in which this is an opportunity to just reinvent ourselves and be even more in tune with our land, with the land, really. And,
yes, absolutely. And if we look backwards, if we revisit the systems of the ancient people, they already had it figured out. They had this amazing system of biodiversity in the Hawaiian Islands, where everybody got a piece of the land from the mountain to the sea. And in that, there was everything you needed to survive was grown in this particular region. So if we just look to their blueprint, we really have all the information that we need. And it's just about that turning back. And I think that that's what Arctic Taste is about. It's what Slow Food is about. And so, it's really exciting to be a part of that.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much, Krista, for this. It was super inspiring. We could stay here for hours talking to you and hearing you. But yeah, so the invitation here, as you can see, everybody here, just thank you for tuning in. This is going to be weekly from now on. Next week, we're going to be tuning in with Chef Namai-san of L'Effervescence in Japan. And today we had Krista. You can follow her on Instagram, and also Hotel Wailea. Follow them. They're great. If you want, we're going to be sharing links on the Arc of Taste, on all the map of all the chefs who have committed to the hashtag Food for Change campaign. So also check me out on Instagram at Charles X Michel, and you can see all the content there. And yeah, thank you so much, Krista, for sharing your wisdom, your knowledge with us. Yeah, I look forward to meeting you, hopefully not too far in the future,
I
in your
hope
beautiful
so.
island.
Yes, thank you
All
so
right.
much, and thank you to everybody who's tuned in, and we really appreciate
Yes, thank
it.
you, thank you. Bye bye. Have a good day, everybody.